He started with a camera, but his vision went beyond pictures. From Ibadan to Lagos, then across borders, he framed faces, built brands, told stories that stuck. From lifestyle shoots to brand campaigns, he's lit the scene, shaped perception, and set new standards. The eye behind unforgettable portraits, the mind blending art with AI, the mentor building creatives, not just portfolios. He doesn't just take photos, he crafts visual legacies. Photographer, director, educator, innovator, the creative force behind the Felix Crown effect. Ladies and gentlemen, Felix Crown.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of CreativiTEA. Woo! It's always exciting to be here. It's always amazing because we always have amazing guests in the house. And today we have an award-winning photographer, an AI enthusiast, a strategist, and a photographer that struggles between Lagos and Toronto. And today we're going to get all the tea about his career and some of his groundbreaking works that I'm sure you have seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Felix Crown.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
I love the way you said the tea.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's why
like
you're
that.
here. We share tea and then you spill the tea.
Spill the tea.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I like your cap.
Thank you so much.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a style.
Is it part of your personal brand?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
I
nice.
just love the art.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. I always see it in your videos.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the meat of the matter. I always forget to call my name. In case you don't know, my name is Linda Agwacha. Okay, so now let's talk about his name, Felix Crown. Is that your real name?
Yeah, technically. Okay, so Felix is my name.
Okay.
By the way, I don't mean to correct you, but Nigerians have this way of
Calling it Felix. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Felix.
Yes, thank you. So Felix is my middle name. My first name is Adebusola.
Okay.
Ade meaning crown.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
you translated it to
So
English.
Felix Crown.
Oh,
Yes, exactly.
nice. So where are you from?
I'm from Ocean State.
Osun State.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Lagos or in
No,
Osun
born
State?
and raised in Ocean State.
In
In
Osun
Elisha,
State.
precisely.
So when did you come to Lagos?
Okay, so I schooled, university days was in UI, Ibadan.
Okay, Ibadan.
And then after that, I'm like, nah, I'm not going back. So I started photography, and that's what brought me down to Lagos.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So why is it that everybody always likes coming to Lagos once you're in that field? Because I'm sure you probably would still get clients. You
Yeah,
get clients in Ibadan now.
You know, the funny thing is, I never liked Lagos. Please don't.
I'm sorry. It's out already.
The tea is out already. Okay, so I wasn't a fan of Lagos because at the time, Lagos was really rowdy. A lot of people were in Lagos. I remember traveling down to Lagos in my teen years, and I was like, why are you guys staying in this chaotic environment? But when I started photography, most of the people that were calling me for jobs were calling from Lagos, thinking I was actually based in Lagos.
Oh.
So I would have to travel down from Ibadan to Lagos. I mean, I eat the fact that I was based in Ibadan and then do the job, then travel back.
Oh, wow.
So that was it. And then when I saw that 90% of my clients were really calling from Lagos, I'm like, you know what? How about I just relocate and move down to Lagos? So I stayed with a friend for about 9 months, then got my place and all that. So that's how that's how it all started.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
So what do you think attracted them to you?
I think it was my work.
Okay.
Yes, because I mean, I did not know anybody in Lagos. I was just doing a lot of collaborative work, basically beauty, headshots, and all of that. And there is this peak interest that they have in my work, and people started calling and be like, okay, please, I would like to book and all of that. Where are you based? I'm like, Ibadan. I mean, in the first few times that they reached out and all of that, and they were like, wow, I thought you were in Lagos. And then I started, you know what? I'm in Lagos. So where are you based? I said, oh, Aja and all of that. And then they'll be like, okay, please, we'd like to come to you for a beauty headshot. I mean, looking at it in retrospect, I wouldn't say my work was really grand, but I feel like at least it was something new in the market at the time. It was around the time that retouching was really coming out
Coming
to
up.
be a
Okay.
major thing in the
Okay.
industry. A lot of people
Okay.
take pictures and just basic edits,
Mm.
but I extended my skill into retouching, and I mean to make the face look beautiful and all of that. And I think it's what really drew them in and
Mm.
started calling me in and all of
How
that.
did you learn about retouching then?
It was YouTube.
Okay.
A few photographers that I follow at the time were doing it,
Mm.
but there wasn't any practical or how to go about it. Then
Yeah.
I went on YouTube and I was like, okay, what's the difference between Nigerian photographers when it comes to the beauty
Mm-hmm.
and then international photographers? And I
Mm.
found something called retouching, dodge and burn, and all of that. It was really new
Yeah.
because I thought just click and deliver. And then I was like, okay, let me learn it. And I started learning it, and it was really a game changer because I know I shoot a lot of women and they love to look
Of
beautiful.
course. Of course.
They love to look beautiful. So, I mean, not in a deceptive way, but just to enhance it. Yes, that was it.
Interesting. So your whole career is based off of YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, so I remember correctly when I was reading through your bio that you studied agricultural economics,
Yes, I
right?
did.
And then it was at NYSC
Mhm.
that you took up photography.
Yes.
Why?
So I took up photography during NYSC professionally, but I
Okay,
had
profession.
started
Oh, I see.
shooting.
Mm.
So in my department there's something called the farm year,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the practical year. And
Mm-hmm.
then I remember my dad getting a very small digital camera, the one that rolls forward when you put it on. Very,
Okay.
very small.
Yeah.
And he just wanted me to record the farm year just to have memories and all of that. So, which I did. I took a lot of pictures on the farm during the practical years. I even took pictures of my friends and everything. And at the end of the farm year, we were supposed to present.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a lot of my friends coming to me and saying, "Oh, the pictures that you took, please, can I go through and see if my pictures are there so I can use it as supporting visuals for
Visuals,
my presentation?"
presentation.
I had a whole lot from my own end, and it was easy for me to use pictures as my presentations and all of
Mm.
that. So it's kind of intriguing. Then during NYC, I just took a few pictures, collaborative pictures, and all of that. And the major thing that stood out with taking pictures of people is them asking this question of, wow, is this me? So it created a form
Oh.
of joy that,
Yeah.
oh, is this me? This looks good. Like a lot of people don't see pictures as something that reveals the part of themselves that they don't even know about. You
Mm.
understand? So it was one of the major things that I'm like, okay, this could be a good way to delve into photography. And I remember also during the farm year, I was already thinking about what's next. What's the next thing to do? Am I going to do 9 to 5? Not like it's bad, but
Yeah.
it's just a lot of thought process that went into it.
Mm.
And at one point, I was like, you know what? Let me think about my growing up. How was it, and all of that. And tracing it back, it felt like it was something that has always been with me
Mm.
along the line and all of that. So you know what? I said, let me delve into it. Let's see what this road will take me.
And what did your parents say when you told them you were doing photography?
They were really shocked. They asked over and over and over again, are you sure this is what you wanted to do? I mean, my dad was very, very supportive, but he did not fully believe. You know, that
Mm.
supportive friend
Mm.
that do not truly believe, like, you will wake up from this slumber one day.
Yeah.
And then I was going and going, and then one day he asked me, are you sure this is what you actually want to do? And I said yes. And then it was like, okay, no problem, you have my full support. So I mean, I would say I'm one of the lucky ones to have a very supportive parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know that after spending so much money in school,
Yeah.
and all that. But
Yeah.
would you say that your education somehow impacted your work
Yes,
as a
I
photographer?
believe it did. I would say it did in terms of critical thinking,
Okay.
in terms of teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Yeah, and in terms of presentation, how I present myself. the fact that I went through school and school passed through me, like they say, yeah, I feel like it's shaping my mindset and how I present myself overall. Yeah, so it's really impactful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you learned about the whole photography thing from YouTube.
Yes.
Where did you learn the business? Because a lot of people are photographers, but not all of them are successful, even though they might even be as talented as you are.
Mhm.
But the business is another thing that most creatives struggle with.
True.
Right. So did
True.
you learn that, or did it just come to you naturally?
No. I never liked business. You understand?
Oh.
While I was doing photography,
You never liked business.
I never liked business. I never liked business. When I was doing photography, it was the creativity, it was the art, it was the passion. I was going all out and trying to, create and create and create
Yeah.
until it started burning me. Because when you don't balance passion and business, you get burnt.
Yes.
So it came to a point where I started learning from my mistake. Like, okay, what is going on? Then I went online, tried to, the business landscape in Nigeria is different from the business landscape. So I had mentors, international mentors that I watched their videos and how they run their business, but it's not applicable in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, yeah.
Like a whole lot of dynamics that I tried to understand through my mistakes. So I would say that I learned the business aspect basically from my mistakes. You understand? And trying to try and error. Okay, how about I start sending invoice to clients? And then one client was like, when did that one start? When did you start sending invoice? Because all the time it is just account number and this. And then when did you start? And then I lost a lot of clients on that. And then I tried contract. Yes, I did. I tried writing contracts. Nigerians. I tried writing contracts. I'd be like, I don't understand. Are you trying to box me or what's going on? Please, goodbye. You understand? So I tried it, and then a lot of people accepted it. Basically, people from that understands the business aspect of things, and a lot of clients I lost them because now you're becoming rigid. Now you're becoming this. So business came to me from a lot of trial and error, application of what I've learned from my mentors and all of that. And I had a Nigerian photographer who was a mentor. His name is Spotlight, that I would always call, like, I don't know how to address this. What do you think? And he will guide me through and all of that. So that's basically how I learned it. And that is why I took it upon myself to mentor upcoming photographers and say, you know what? The business is actually what you need. I understand the passion, but you need to learn the business of photography. Yeah.
We're going to come to that mentorship part really soon. I still want to dwell a bit more on the business.
Okay,
do you know why?
Yeah.
Because the first time I ever heard about you was because of business. It was like so I work with, I'm sure you didn't know, but I work with Aspira Nigeria. You had done some photos of Adesoa for them before I joined.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yes. So when I joined, I started hearing things like, we're supposed to pay for billboard rights, we're supposed to pay for image rights. So and they were like, wait, where is this? So I was like,
this?
And I kept asking them, didn't you guys have this discussion before? And they were like, no, because they've done it with some other photographers, but you were different. So that was the first time I heard about Felix Crown. I was like, okay, a creative that is all about his business, because most photographers in Nigeria, most people in Nigeria don't charge that way. Like, okay, the billboard rights is different from this right, is different from that. So that's why I kept asking you, how did you come about this? How did you learn about this structure? And have you been implementing it? Has it been successful, especially in this climate where people don't understand, that there are certain rights, they're supposed to pay for after taking the picture, because they believe when I take the picture, it's mine. So you break it down.
Okay. Okay, that's a very amazing one. I mean, I didn't know this. I remember the project very well, and it was actually written in my invoice that the licensing for this is for social media and it is complimentary. If you're going to be putting it on billboard, I would have to be charging this. You understand? There was a lot of back and forth from that project, I believe. And eventually they paid, of course, not my original rates, but because of my mentor, which is Banky W, was involved and all of that. So in this part of the world, it is very hard to implement that, but I was key on it. I was really hell bent that no, this is how I know things are supposed to be, and I know my right as a photographer. You understand? So I really tried as much as possible to let them know, if you're booking me, you're paying for creative fee, you're paying for licensing fee. I need to know the usage. There are different questions that I ask my clients just to understand their objective,
Okay.
what they are trying to create, their vision. And I feel like this is one part where a lot of photographers don't try to ask. If a commercial client is going to reach out to you, they're just going to tell you, we want to do a shoot for this, for that, and that's it. Because they will withhold the other necessary information just so they know if you're going to ask the right questions. So it is left for you as a creative, as a photographer, to go ahead and say, okay, what is the usage of these images? What is the expected deliverables? How long are they going to be useful for this commercial reason? What platforms are they going on? Are they going on social media? Are they going on billboards? Are they going on in-house marketing platforms? And are they going on prints and all of that? Because you have the right to charge for this. And it is very, very important. I feel like that is why the creative part, or the creative industry when it comes to photography, is really dragging, because these are normal royalties that people are supposed to pay you for. Do you understand? So it is important to understand this, ask them questions, let them know. If you're using it for 2 years on the billboard, you charge for that. If it's 1 year on the billboard, you have to charge for licensing for that as well.
But
So
there's a lot of bottlenecks that comes with this. So how do you overcome them? Because this is Nigeria. A lot of clients will not understand this. So
Yeah.
how do you?
okay, so one way that I've tried to, which has been proven over time that it has worked to handle this, is to include your creative fee, your licensing fee into a whole. Do not break it down. Don't break it down into bit and say gear fee, licensing fee, and all of that. They will try to beat everything down. Just put it as a whole and charge it. So what I do is charge a day rate inclusive of all of this. So when I ask these questions and I understand the direction and everything, I just give you a day rate and I tell you, of course, I'm very, very detailed. I'll let you know this includes creative fee, gear fee, licensing fee for billboards and social media or whatnot, and all of that. And that's why I've been able to solve it, because trust me, when I started working with commercial brands and I break this down, they would always run away. Not that they don't know this, but you know them, they always try to break prices to go for the most affordable photographer. So that's what I learned, and I had to put it, and then it's been working.
But you're not the most affordable photographer. Your prices are like high up there, right?
Oh well, it's relative. I mean, for the craft, for the work that I do, I believe I'm charging exactly my worth.
Okay, so let's even talk about the craft now. There's this thing called the Felix Crown effect, right?
Thank you.
How did that come about?
Okay, so it's very simple. It's just one of the times that I was looking for a cash phrase for my work.
Okay,
you understand, and I just love the language effect. So I'm like, okay, I started putting it as the Felix Crown effect on whatever client that I'm shooting. If I'm shooting Linda, the Felix Crown effect on Linda. So it begins to resonate with clients in a different way. I mean, the idea of that effect is to give you an experience that is peculiar to you, from me to you, that you cannot get elsewhere. And people started attaching a meaning to it, an experience to it, a feeling to it, because I'm very, very big on selling feelings. I don't sell pictures, I sell feeling, I sell experience. So even if client is trying to relate a feedback to me, maybe they don't, the pictures is not up to what they're expecting. I mean, we have this happen sometimes. They just try to explain, and at the end they'll be like, it doesn't have the Felix Crown effect. I mean, I would say I don't know these ingredients that you're talking about, but deep down I understand what they mean, and then I go back, so it starts from shoots to final delivery, final edits, and all of that. So it's stuck on as a promise that clients begins to see and be like, I want the Felix Crown effect.
Oh, nice. So it means that because you said something like you were looking for a catchphrase.
Yes.
So it means that you were consciously from beginning branding yourself,
Oh,
right?
yes. It has been intentional from the onset.
How did you learn about branding?
I didn't learn it. I just felt like I wanted to be different.
Different.
So it was later on in the years that I found out that it was called branding. So
Interesting.
I just like to be different. I mean, I'm wearing an hat now.
Mhm.
Nobody here is wearing an hat. So the feeling of being different is just what drove me to
Mm.
picking up some things along the line. And when I was now intentional about learning branding, I figured out that I was an unconscious competence. That is doing things without even knowing that it was the right thing that I was doing.
Yeah.
So I found out that, oh, this is what I've been doing. So it is real. So I was just going on and on and on, learning about branding and applying it to my personal brand and my overall brand at the end of the day. Yeah.
So now describe your personal brand.
Okay, so my personal brand would be inspirational. That's actually a good question. I've not thought about I've not thought about describing my personal brand before. Okay, so it would be inspirational, aspirational. I would say someone who likes a daredevil, someone who just likes to try things out to see what can come out of this. You understand? Just give it a shot. What else can we? At least we can't die. We won't die. So yeah, I believe that is how I would really represent it and define it. I think
cool.
I would take that as an assignment.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people would be able to look at you and draw a perception of you based on what they see.
Yeah.
But you too have to be conscious about what you're putting out, there. And
Beautiful.
thank you very much for being very, very how do I put it, structured with your business, because photography business, I know a lot of people will just want to take it up. Oh, let me just be a photographer. But they have the likes of you to look up to with the way you structured everything and you consciously building a brand to the extent that he's wearing a cap. So it's not just about the Felix Crown effect on his work, even his personal branding too. And you're doing some videos online as well to teach people. So I think it's really commendable. And
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
All right, so we will continue our discussion. I think we're on personal branding now. So now let's move over to AI, and that's one thing that I also like about what you're doing. You are evolving. You've been there. You have the Felix Crown effect. You're doing your stuff, but when AI came, you also knew that you still needed to evolve and start integrating AI into your work. So when was the first time you discovered AI, and how has it really helped your business?
Okay, so the first time I discovered AI was in 2023. I believe that was when Midjourney was becoming a thing. It was on version 2 thereabout at the time. It was still on Discord. It has not come into the web platform yet. And it was intriguing. What do you mean I need to just type something and then an image will come out? Like, how do you know these things? How do you know to piece this? So I'm a very, very curious person. Very, very curious. So I was so curious about this. I'm like, I need to understand what exactly this is doing. And then I put on a prompt about what I'm imagining, and it brought it out. Not close, but the fact that it was really amazing, I'm like, wow, this is great. And then you understand the evolution of AI, the way it has gone progressively over the years. It is amazing. By the end of 2023, we are already on probably version 4 or something, and it was really mind-blowing. So I was at a point then that I felt like, at that point, my clients were still very okay with my work, but I felt tired of the work that I was creating. We have limited locations in Lagos to shoot in. If a new location drops, Lagosians, we've gone there, we've shot overused and all of that. And I was getting really tired. Static backgrounds, images, I was tired. I'm this one person or this one photographer that likes to put interest in my work. I want to be able to experience emotions in a very different way by putting interest in my work, the way I light, the way I put overlays, light leaks and all of that. And when I wanted to put in I was like, okay, how about I create a different background and have my clients, I put my clients in it just to enhance the storytelling of pictures and all of that. It was pretty hard to do. But at the end of the day, I figured it out. A lot of trial and error and all of that. And I figured it out eventually. And it was like, okay, let me stick on this. I showed a few of my clients. They were really in love with it. They loved it so much. I'm like, okay, this is one direction that I would love to take. I started charging an extra buck for it, slowly, slowly increasing the fees, and people were really like accepting it. They were adopting it, like, okay, this is something, because I sold it as a part of storytelling. Yeah, so that's
So it didn't just impact your work, it also impacts the finances because you had to start charging extra
exactly
for it.
the business. So apart from you coming in and I'm shooting you for a fee,
Yeah,
if you want that background, that elevation, I charge you an extra for it as well.
interesting.
I like that.
So you were not one of those that were scared that, oh, AI is coming to take away our jobs.
Nah.
Because some people will be like, oh, I give AI my picture and then
Yeah.
it gives me a good background and all of that. So you're not scared of that.
No,
right?
I wasn't. It was just another tool. In the when digital camera came in,
Yeah.
photographers, painters, and everybody were scared that we're using
Yeah,
analog.
yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's just times repeating itself,
Evolution.
history exactly repeating itself. So I saw it as another tool that I can use to enhance my storytelling, not as a tool for deception, because I'm very open with it. Like I do it, I
Yeah.
use this, you understand? And for a fact, it is not even new, because there's an aspect of photography where superimposition and composite
Of course,
comes in,
yeah.
where people piece elements together.
Yeah.
But what AI has been able to do is put all these elements into one picture, and I'm just able to just superimpose it. So it is just to enhance. I don't see it as it's coming to take my my craft. In fact, I'm using it to make more money. So yeah.
Kudos. Yeah.
you.
So another question I wanted to ask is, I think you already touched on it, because with the use of AI, sometimes it can be overused, and then everything now starts to look
Yeah.
robotic
True.
and
Yeah.
all of that. So
Yeah.
how do you ensure that you are still able to maintain authenticity even while using artificial intelligence?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. That's a very wonderful question. So authenticity comes from intention,
Okay.
not from the tool that you're using. What is my intention with using this tool? I am not going to shoot you now and then put it into AI, and AI will change your face, change your makeup, and all of that just so I can make it look entirely different from you. No, it is still enhancing the story that you want to tell at the end of the day. So the intention is to make sure that I tell the right story, sell the right story, and present it as I use this tool to be able to tell this story very well. And so it's still very authentic, but the end result, okay, for example, if you look at movies or stories from Marvel, you will understand that they are authentic stories, but I mean, we understand that they are not real. Yes, but they are able to sell exactly fiction. But I'm not selling fiction, I'm selling realism at the end of the day, because these locations are actually possible locations as well. You understand? It is possible locations, just that we are limited in accessibility in this part of the world. If I am currently in a space where I have everything in front of me, there wouldn't be any reason to adopt AI into it. You understand? And adopting AI is not even limited to just background creation and all of that. It's extensive. And the beautiful part of this, if I tell you, is that it has even increased my creative level even more than 5 years ago.
Interesting.
For real. Like I studied what it creates, I studied the lighting and everything. I'm like, okay, this is good. Then I can apply it to my work. You understand? So
I see.
my imagination comes into visual representation even better. And I'm looking at things like, I'm looking at a scenario like, why not to create this? You understand? Instead of having to think about it is not possible, I'm like, it is possible. I can create this. So that is how I've been able to balance the authentic aspect.
So even AI, you using AI is also making you better at your photography job.
Yes,
that's
is.
interesting.
Yes,
great. Oh my mic. Okay. Okay. It's very interesting. Oh.
Thank you.
So for so far, you've been working with brands and you've been working with personal clients
Clients,
as
yes.
well. You've been using AI for both or just
Yeah.
for the, because I know I've seen some of your work and most of the AI stuff is
Mhm.
for
Personal
personal
clients.
clients, like
Yes.
the one with Kiki
Yeah.
and the rest. Have you
Yeah.
also been adapting AI for commercial shoots as well?
Yes. However, we've not done one, but there is this one that is underway currently that I'm going to be doing. And yes, they reached out so that I can be able to adopt AI into some of the images that I will be creating. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've actually seen people adopt it, like Slick City Malik. Yeah, is one of the great guys when it comes to AI, and he was able to create a campaign for, I think, Bonvita last year or 2 years ago using AI.
Mm.
AI just created the images to a man and a girl looking happy and all of that, and they branded it on their package and all of that. Which I mean,
Oh, okay. They used it for their packaging.
yeah, their packaging. Yeah,
Ah,
I don't
okay.
buy it,
Why?
but
Why don't you buy it?
I think there should be a regulation to that aspect because it is a commercial job. So a bit of an human touch should be introduced. You understand? The one I'm talking about that I'm going to be doing recently, I'm still going to be shooting the subjects, the models, and all of that. It's just to
But that
enhance
I
it.
think that's where the whole thing is going to now, because when you use it's one of the internal discussions I'm also having. Like when you
Yes.
use people for your packaging. Packaging is different from campaigns
Yes, it
where you
is.
do a billboard campaign 1 year, 2 years, and you're done.
Yeah.
But packaging is sometimes for life.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep paying whoever is the face of your product
Yeah.
for
Oh,
life. So now
yeah,
a lot of
perpetuating.
companies are considering just using AI to generate an image because that way they don't
It
have
cuts
to pay.
costs.
They're always looking for ways to cut costs.
Yeah, I
You
know.
get so that's I think that's something that is currently going on the ground, and I can hear from your voice now that you're totally against that,
No,
right?
I'm against that. I'm against that because I believe that I don't know if this is the job of Akon, that's the regulatory board, but I believe Akon should be able to come in and say, you know what, you do not get to use. We still want. I mean,
I
they
think
did
Alcon
that.
has a fee for
Feel for that. Yeah, I
AI
saw that.
images.
I saw
Yes, no,
that.
so it's not
It's
restricted,
not
but
restricted.
you can pay. After paying, then you go ahead and use it.
Okay, so you pay once and then use it on your package for life.
Yes, yes.
Imagine. I'm not
I don't
scared
know for
anyways.
life. I don't know if it's for life, but I know that for any time you use an AI
Mhm,
image, I
mhm.
think there's a fee attached to it.
Yes, I saw it recently. I mean, it's really good, but at the same time, I feel like there should be a restriction on that because human touch. Let's be able to promote our
When
creative
you mean when
industry.
you oh, that's I think that's a better point. Like promote our creative
Creative
industry
industry.
and make sure that the creative still gets
Yeah,
the models especially still
especially.
get to make some money.
Yes.
Because apart from that, I think there's still human touch because the AI, the images look like humans. And they're getting so good now.
Oh
Before they had the
yeah,
hand issue and
yeah,
all that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
now it's no
The
longer
evolution
there.
is
Yeah.
crazy. Even the videos, man,
Yes, even the
it's
videos.
crazy. I mean, I just believe that there should be a little bit of regulation, which
There should be.
they are trying to do now, and which is, I think, is excellent at the end of the day.
All right, cool.
Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. All right, so now let's talk about, we've been talking a lot about your growth and your success and how
Yeah.
you have been able to evolve. Now let's talk about some of the challenges you might have faced doing all of
All of
this.
this.
Yes. So can you tell us what challenge you faced as a photographer coming up, and then working with clients, brands and personal clients as well? What challenges did
Oh
you face and
wow!
how did you overcome them?
You know when they say problem no they finish. So for every point in your growth, or as in my growth as a photographer, there has always been challenges, right? And I would say some of the challenges would be in clients actually agreeing to your worth. First of all, I think everybody faced this challenge one point or the other. You tell them this is your field, they look like, and then I feel like if this, I mean, I'm so grateful for your platform doing this. If this kind of conversation is ongoing at a very repetitive level where it gets etched into people's subconscious that photography creativity is not something you just brush up as the last touch points in whatever it is you're thinking about, be it weddings, portraits, commercial, and all of that, and see it as something really tangible to tell more stories, maybe people will appreciate it more. You understand? My kind of client right now are appreciating the kind of work that I do, and they are paying for it because they know. But there are still a lot of people that don't understand why photography will be this. Is it not just to press one button? So that's one of the challenges of knowing the worth and understanding that it is actually worth this amount at the end of the day, because it brings out whatever story that you're trying to tell at the end of the day. Yeah, so that's one of the challenges. Another challenge is location in Lagos. You want to shoot at somewhere you're charging you ridiculous amounts for it. You want to shoot maybe outdoor, all these people are coming to harass you and everything. So it is part of the major challenges and everything. And also another challenge as a structured business is to get talented hands.
That is always a problem, right?
It's really a problem. I don't even know the roots of this problem, but a lot of my photographer or creative colleagues are in this deep thing where they are just looking for talented hands to support. And I mean, I'm grateful for my team right now. I have an incredible team. They are very supportive and all of that, but getting more hands on deck to do things and all of that, it is really, really challenging. So I feel these are the few ones that I would I think I can remember right now.
This last one is really like a pandemic. How do we solve it?
Seriously, I have no idea, because like I said, I don't know the root cause. And when you even hire some people, you will figure out they just want to take and just
they're not passionate like you.
Yeah, they don't want to pour into them. Like, okay, I've gotten what I need, I'm off. You understand? They don't want to stay to put their head down. I do not know the root cause of this, and I really want to understand what exactly is going on. Or maybe it is the discovery that you could just enter into skits and make it.
I think that's where I think a lot of young people just feel like they don't need to work too hard about, and majority of them are passionate about, I'm just talking about my own observation. Majority of them are passionate about being in front of the camera, just doing skits or being popular or being celebrity, and then they can make money. So working hard behind the scenes is now like an old school thing.
It's so old school because they say things like, "Oh, we are is it work?" Now that they don't want to do what their parents, the job that their parents did and all of that. Even though it's a very good evolution, when it's
not so good, because most of the time many of them don't have foundation.
That is it.
They don't have foundation, and they're not prepared for what's coming in front. You get, so most of them are not even able to leverage whatever fame they get because they are not solid, and that's the problem.
I like that. That's a good observation.
I wish we could, let them know, but sometimes it's only those that want to hear that we hear.
Of course.
You still need to work under somebody. You still need to learn. You still need to be passionate about something. You still need to build character and relationships before you can get to that level of Felix Crown, or get to that level where you can, make it on your own. Hopefully.
The foundation is actually very important. Because you interview some people and you hear their story and be like, excuse me, where are you coming from? You assess some people's attitude and you be like, did you even go to school? Did you
understand?
Did you do team projects in school to understand that teamwork is important?
It's very important. They are not deep. They are just right there on the surface. Level. Yeah. So we pray.
we pray
because and that's one of the reasons why we're having these kinds of conversations, so that people would know, it's not just all glitters. I mean, I love it when you were talking. That's why I asked you, did your education play a
Yeah,
role in
it
your
did.
business? And you said it did, and you explained how it helped you. So so people would know that education is important, building structure is important.
Yes.
Learning, you had to learn, you had to teach yourself. And some of them would be like, they want to be like, Kishe, you didn't work with anybody now. You just you just let your
But before
photography
I
work.
got here, I had to go through a lot.
Yeah, you
The
said so
foundation.
yourself. You had mentors, you had spotlight, you had
Yeah.
people you call,
Yes.
and I'm sure some of those people would have asked you, oh, do this for me, and you would have done it with your
Yes.
heart.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
to be able to get to this level. And so that's something I think a lot of people need to understand. Hopefully we get there. We'll keep
Thank God
keep
for your
preaching.
platform, Linda.
We thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we? We were talking about challenges and all
Yeah.
that. So, which do you enjoy more? Working with commercial clients, with brands, or working with celebrities and just personal people that are doing their personal portraits?
That's a
and
very
all that?
good question. The experiences are very, very different.
Yes, that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking which one you enjoy.
Let me see.
More.
I actually enjoy working with commercial. So I will put commercial as the first.
Because of the money.
Now you're seeing me as a businessman. Yeah. So I enjoy the commercial aspect because yes, the money and also the joy with they always have a vision. And I love to work with people with vision.
Okay.
Even my personal clients now, the most of the clients that I get now have visions. They are not coming in because I just want to take pictures. They have something they want to
Achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if for a birthday, I ask them questions like, what emotions do you want your pictures to resonate? And oh, thank you. It's my 48. I want it to resonate power. I want it to resonate luxury. And okay, good. Then we go into that direction of that vision and then bring it to life. So for commercials, they always have a vision. Okay, this project is for elevating women this way, that way, and all of that. And then me going in the direction of vision just gave me so much fulfillment because I'm working towards a purpose. So when you work towards a purpose, you feel fulfillment because as it's going, and it's not about the end product at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's about the journey. So when you're going through with the journey of from ideation to conceptualization to putting people on a round table to discuss what's next and how to achieve it, and then all of that and bringing it to life, and you're just seeing the final product and be like, oh, I enjoy this. That makes my heart really jump. So I enjoyed that aspect for commercials. For personal, like I said, a lot of my clients now are coming in with the idea of, I want my pictures to resonate this way, that way, and all that. And that is why they're even embracing this AI thing that I do, because it just gives them that opportunity to see their vision come to life. Like, ooh, this is what I envisioned. I'm happy that it came to life.
Which of your jobs are you very, very proud of now? Like the one that you would say, oh, this one is eight.
There's a lot. Yes,
I know.
There are lots of that. But the one that happened recently was the one I created this year for Mrs. Joyce Awushika.
Okay.
Yeah, so she actually flew to Toronto to come and have the shoot with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she was like, she had the vision of what our year is going to be like, our goals and everything, and then she saw herself soaring in quantum realm. So
That's good.
that I was able to create that for her, and it was really amazing. She loved it so much, and yeah, that is one that I would say I'm really proud of. And why I would say a lot is because when I create, I detach. So when I create a piece right now and I love it and go through it, pat myself on the back for a job well done and look at the critical aspect of it to get the constructive way of what I should have done better, then I detach from the art so I can be able to create something better. Yeah. So yeah, that's why it is a whole lot, which I can't remember because I've I've detached right now. But that's one that really stood out to me, and that's because she actually came all the way down to Toronto because she needed to achieve that. And yeah.
Speaking of Toronto, so you shuttle between Lagos and Toronto.
Yes, I do.
How has that impacted your work, your business, and even the work itself?
It's really amazing. It's risky.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know the joy you get from doing something risky. Yeah. So for that,
How is it risky? Because you might lose your clients here. Is that why?
yes,
I
exactly.
get that.
But I wouldn't know if I did not try. So so I tried that, and then it was really amazing because it helped me to also see that I've been able to create a wonderful structure in my brand. Yeah,
Mm.
because I did not lose clients. I was even celebrities that love to say it is you that I want. They were still able to come shoot with my team in Lagos, and the images came out great. You understand? And
Nice.
the thing is, it made me also see a perspective to, okay, I could do this better in structure. I could be better in this in structure. This is working, so I need to fire on this. I'll do more of this and all of that. So it's very challenging and it's very fulfilling at the end of the day. Lagos for me is vibrant, raw, challenging. You're on your feet 247.
Mm.
For when I was in Toronto, it was more like let me just relax for a bit and
Mm.
see what I can try out, the new techs I can try out, the new things I can do. Let me look at my brand from an ego perspective to see
Mm.
what is working and what is not working. Yeah, so that's why I've been able to balance it. I'm trying to also build a working brand in Toronto, so it's still underway at the moment.
That's the beauty of creativity. You can move from here to anywhere in the world and still be able to create magic.
Yes.
But one thing I want to touch on is the structure you've been able to create,
Yeah.
because it's not very easy. You said something that even when you're not around, your team is able to create images that your clients love.
Yes.
Now that's some for me is something that is very, very, very important, right? Because the Felix Crown effect is you,
Yeah.
right? Is your effect.
Mhm.
So how were you able to make sure that even when you are not there, your team is able to produce the Felix Crown effect?
That's a good one. So, what I did foremost was create structures in terms of hierarchy system in terms of my workers, my staff. You're doing this, you know what you're doing. You're doing this, you know what you're doing. So as to create, so it's not like someone wants to shoot now and then it's the manager that is carrying camera. No, the manager is different from the photographer.
Mm.
Yeah, the photographer can double as the retoucher or the editor at the same time. The content creator is different also from the manager. The
Mm.
assistant manager is different. All of this, you understand. So for every touch point, there is someone to attend to the client. So it's not a situation where one person is doing everything. That could be a lot. You
Yeah.
understand. So while I was in Toronto, clients reach out, they talk with the manager communicates with the rest of the team. This is what we are shooting, send ideas, dialogue, what is it that we are trying to do and all of that. Then he moves on to the next one where the photographers comes on set and then shoots. Then he moves on to the next phase where the photographer uploads the images, send the link to the manager sends it to the client makes selection, send it back. You understand this
Yeah,
structure
I
and all of
understand.
that.
Yeah.
So it's very, very seamless in that way. And this is one thing that I felt like really worked for me, because if it's one person that did everything and one person wakes up and say I'm not doing anymore, the whole thing system crashes. You understand? So I was able to create different touch points in the brand to make sure that okay, there's a free flow of creativity, work, and everything. And at the end of the day, then I access the edit that is done, or probably sometimes I work on it as well if there's a lot of work on the decks, and then deliver to clients. So we still have that channel. The channel is very smooth and seamless at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a very good one, because I know that a lot of creatives struggle with this because it's hard, and if you don't have that structure, you cannot scale.
Yeah.
You're only thinking about setting up in Toronto now because you know that Lagos can take care of itself.
Thank you.
Yeah, so but it's hard for when the whole business, the whole idea is just one person. It's hard to download it
To another
to
person.
another person and say, okay, you guys, but that's something you've been able to do.
Yeah.
And now that you're doing it, it's showing a lot of creatives out there who might be struggling with scaling that
Yeah.
it is very, very
Good.
possible.
Yeah, and I think one of the major fears of creative people is that they don't want to let go. So it
They're
was,
very passionate about what they do. Like
yeah, they
they're
just
like,
want
will
to do
somebody
the,
else be able to do
do
it
it
the
the
way
way
I do
exactly.
it?
So it's an art. I call it the art of letting go. I
Mm.
actually had to learn it. It wasn't easy for me. What do you mean I have to teach everything that I know so that someone else can understand it and do it
Do it.
for me?
Mm.
It was very hard. And
Mm.
creatives like it when, oh, it is only me that is doing this. I don't want you to come learn this and then go and
Go
all of
and
that.
start doing
You
my
understand? So
thing.
like I said, the art of detachment, the art of letting go, I had to learn it and be like, what I did before traveling was created a video tutorial of how I do things. And then it's on the decks. So any new staff that is coming in is able to watch the tutorial, understand how we do things, then starts to practice and practice until you get it, so that you can also contribute at the end of the day. You understand? So the system is already there, the structure is already there. Any new person that is coming knows that you're coming to a particular, a very solid structure.
Structure.
You understand? So nobody is disrupting any system or anything. You can't just come and say, this is how I want to be doing things. No, we have our culture on how to do things, how to run things, and everything. And while I'm here speaking with you, my team is currently shooting right now. Yeah, you
Yes.
understand. So, and this is one thing that I was really happy to do because it's really scaled. For the first few times as a creative that you would do it, you feel like you are doing this, and you're losing. But over time, when it picks up, you will be so happy that you're doing it because as a CEO or as a founder, you have to like remove yourself from the daily operations of things so as to see things from a grand scale of
And
things.
to be able to also be strategic with where you're going with
Strategy.
the brand, because if you are into the day-to-day running of every single thing, you will be so tired and
Oh
you'll be
my
so
God.
focused on that, you will not see the big picture. You won't even see when you are going extinct.
Yeah. Yeah, that is it. And
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I announced that I will be launching a course on how to integrate AI in photography. I was able to only do that because I've created a
A
structure.
structure,
If I was
yeah.
in the daily operation of things, I would not even, I mean, I get home late, I sleep, wake up, oh yeah, studio. You understand? So this has been able to give me the chance to also think and be like, okay, let me add one or two things with my photography, the education, the deals, the
Yeah.
mentorship, and all of that. Yeah.
Good. So we're going to talk about the mentorship in a bit. But before we do that, I don't know if you guys have any questions. Any
Yeah.
questions?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I mean,
Good.
great work. Great
Thank you,
work.
brother.
Yes. I just wanted to know, if you find photography as something that is supposed to be like just an art form alone, you know, because some people actually, I think there are various ways. I mean, photographers. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah,
You know,
yours.
I think there are various photographers. You let us know now that you're the business photographer. But you know, I see a lot of people add so much passion or attachment to just being an artist. Like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's an art form only, you know, or maybe they're extremists if there's a word for it that way. You know, what's the difference? What's the difference? Are they from what you are doing? You know, that some people just want to take photograph, you know, even their style of photography is kind of on the, how will I
Edgy.
put, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
is there a market for that too as well? Or and also what's the difference with what you're doing?
Okay, so yes, there's definitely a market for that as well. You can be a solo photographer and go into the edgy or the exhibition kind of art form or whatnot and still be able to really do well. You understand? And it is also important that while you're thinking of going solo, you're thinking of your retirement plan as well. Do you want to go solo? And then when you're not able to shoot, what next? You understand? I'm able to fall back to education, mentorship, and all that when I stop carrying the camera. I'm able to fall back into still being able to hold the studio down and all of that. So for me, photography is, yes, started as an art form and evolved into a business. But I did not lose the art side of it while entering, because that's one of the major dilemma when it comes to photographers. They start as an art form, very passionate about it and all of that, and they see that it's not sustainable as just art. Let me go into the photography and into the business aspect of it, and they lose their art touch of it as well. But I have been able to balance in such a way that I'm evolving as an artist and also as a business person. So it is important to be able to understand this balance and learn it. And one of the major ways that I've been able to learn is by learning two things at a time. I understand the art of focus, but these two things are not mutually exclusive, because when you're learning art and business, it's different ball game. You understand? So you can't learn two forms of art at the same time. You will lose one. But if you're learning art and business, you can juggle both at the same time. Ascribe a particular time for art, ascribe a particular time for business, and learn it both times. You understand? And I feel like it is important, even if you're practicing the edgy kind of photography, you still need to create a structure. I'm not into that fully, but I believe there would be a structure form of it as well that you can delve into and know that, okay, at the end of the day, even if I'm not actively in this, my work is still selling itself.
And also to add to that, there are also some people who just focus on the artistry too. I mean, part of the edgy part of it, and then not get into the business, and then they get tired of it, and then they lose focus
it's very draining. It's draining when you focus too much on passion. Passion is just something that burns, voof, and then goes fickle, voof, goes fickle. You understand? You still need to find a balance in a way where you're earning something that is making you happy at the end of the day, and then you're still channeling that energy into art and passion. You understand? So I feel like it is important to learn the balance of this. I mean, I wouldn't use the word balance because I feel like there's nothing like balance at the end of the day. I will use something like harmony. Harmony, because if you look at an orchestra, at some point the trumpet will be higher, and then the violin will be lower, and then it goes up and all of that. It's not balance, it's harmony. And that is why it's able to create a wonderful piece of music at the end of the day. So find harmony in what you're doing. You can't just say it is passion all through every year, and that is no, it's not possible. You have to find a balance, even if it is nature, going out in nature just so you can distress yourself at the end of the day, learn a bit of courses on business and all of that. Yeah.
To speak like the edgy people speak, they will say someone like you are not the real photographer. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand you. You understand? And that is because over time they've seen that people that delve into business lose the art touch. But I have not. You understand? And she mentioned something about the evolution of adopting AI into it. That is the art form that is pushing me, not actually the business. It was after I released this form of art to a lot of my clients that I felt like I can make more money from this. You understand? So it didn't start off as I know how to do this now, start giving me money. No, I have to perfect the art. I have to understand how it works. I have to be able to push it and make it interpret what they are trying to resonate with or whatnot, and then at the end of the day they start charging for it.
So must commend you, because the likes of you, amazing Clef, you've made like you're starting to make like a blueprint for a lot of people to see that what we used to call photo back then is actually
It's a
sustainable.
career.
It's a career.
It's a business.
Back then, you only have just one person that everyone go to. But respect to Kelechi Hamadi, but you don't have many of you. Now we have many of you guys now, which is becoming an industry.
Thank you.
Is there a structure in terms of can we call it an industry? Do you guys have a structure?
An
Do you meet up, association?
No, we do not actually. That's a very, very good question. We do not actually. And it's amazing because I think I would say this photographer that you're calling right now it's just an hunch of waking up and be like, you know what? It doesn't have to be like this. And that is how innovation starts as well. It doesn't have to be like this. There should be another way this can happen. You understand? I was speaking with a photographer the other day, and then I actually did not see the fact that I left the country for 4 months as a very big deal until I started speaking with my colleagues. And they were like, how did you do it? Because you leave the country, just forget it. You pack up.
Mm.
And someone living 4 months was like, what? And then you're still getting jobs and all of that. Because I was the kind of client I was still shooting, it was still my top-notch client that was still returning, knowing fully what I wasn't in the country, and they trusted. You understand? So I've sold something more than pictures. If I was only selling pictures, I don't think they will come back. So I've sold, I believe I created something more than that, and that is why they're coming back. So
Customer relationship is very, very important. Yes, how you treat your clients is also very, very important. And to add to something that you said, those other edgy creatives, right? They still need to have structure, like he said. Even if the whole thing has to depend on you, there has to also be a team that helps you. And then there are also different kinds of creatives. There are the types that are like him, that want to make sure that, okay, I reach almost everybody. It's not everybody, because I know your money too determines the kind of clients you get. It's not everybody, but I reach a large number of people, and then I make X amount out of it. Now, an edgy creative can be like, okay, I just want one client because I'm selling myself. I'm not selling just my art. You want me. So instead of paying, let me say, the amount of money that maybe 100 people would pay for you,
they just pay once for
that person.
I agree.
So there are different kinds of creative and different kinds of audiences. That one might be like, I want to just do one job and go and sleep. I'm done. I'm not coming back.
But it is hard to see that kind of structure in Nigeria.
And that's where we are going, hopefully.
I was going through Instagram one day and I saw a guy that makes bags, but it doesn't make the normal bags. It can see a castle and make it into a bag. And when I saw the amount this guy was charging, $50,000 for one bag, and he said it's limited to just 2.
You see?
And this is not a Nigerian artist, this is an international person. And people were actually buying it. I saw that as, this is amazing. But for you to even get to that stage in this our Nigeria,
so that's the thing, the market you're in determines what you want to do at the end of the day. For you to be able to do that sort of thing, you have to be sure that you can get the clientele.
But what does it mean when we say, this kind of thing does not happen in Nigeria? What does that mean in terms of, our people not, do we not like art? Do we not understand, art in general? Do you understand what I'm saying? And if not, how do we get our people interested in, those type of things? Because what you said is, that you actually have to, figure out how you go about your business and how to get people interested, but the edgy people now, the artistic people and everything, maybe they could be finding it hard to do those sort of things. What kind of like advice would you give to them? And generally, is Nigerians just like not an artistic people, or they will not invest in sort of like those things?
Okay, so I will give you an example of one aspects of the creative industry that's really blown up right now. 5 years, let me say 10 years ago, there wasn't anything like bridal stylist. Nothing like bridal stylist. You want to get married, you sort for your outfits, your shoes, your bags, and everything by yourself. But bridal stylists came to be, and then before you know it, people are paying millions of naira for bridal styling, right? What I think they did right was be able to tell their story. So you see, bridal stylists will bring content creators and videographers and photographers alongside, so they can show the aspect of their work that is different from what the clients or the couples are getting. So and that is one thing that I really love about Life with Linda or this creativity, is the storytelling aspect of, let us talk about this creativity, or let us talk about it. You understand? I would love to say this to fellow photographers and videographers as well. We need to actually come out and be telling our own story. Let people see what goes on. Since I've been putting out how I use AI and integrate AI, my perception in the industry or within people has increased. Like, it has increased so much that I feel like, why have I not been doing this all
This
this
all
time?
along.
If you hide your creative process,
Mm.
people see what you're doing as it is easy.
Mm.
If you show them your creative process,
Mm.
people see the in-depth to be like, almost some people they create sha.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Vicky James.
Mm.
Vicky James puts a creative process. You see, it is important to talk about what goes on with how you think,
Yeah.
how you create, what the process is like, and everything. There are two of these examples that I just gave. I gave the bridal stylist,
Mm.
and then the another one is the content creators.
Mm.
This is because content creators are even showing more of the work and the process that goes on, and people are being like, okay, I love this style of creativity or what you're creating and all of that. I'm gonna book it. It is really booming, and wedding photographers and wedding photographers are on the sideline because they are not showing. So you hire a wedding photographer, and what you post only would be the result of. You hire a wedding photographer, what you post only is just the results. You understand?
Yeah.
And people see it, I'm like, oh, this is nice, and then they want to hire you. I'm charging this amount. If you're not popular, and you'd be like, please, I would rather go with this person than to hire this person. You understand? So it is important to tell your story. Tell them what the thought process is. Most of us try not to do that because we are scared another photographer will now know how I do things and then still the way I do things. And before you know it, people will not be booking me again. That is the fear that we have as creative people. So it is important to learn the art of detach. Actually, detach from your craft, detach from that art. See it as another entity on its own that stands apart from you, and then you'll be able to scale. I did not believe this was gonna work before I started or when I was learning this, because I have a lot of mentors that I watched at YouTube and all of that. But since I started doing it, I'm like, wow, this is actually interesting. You understand? So yeah. So for the edgy creative, stand in front of the camera. Let us see that part of you that you said that you are imputing in that work. Let us see it so that someone can resonate with it and be like, ooh, this is amazing. I want this. And then they hear the amount, they won't even doubt. Yeah.
So even add to what you're saying, because I know that is a valid fear. Somebody will see how I'm doing my stuff and steal it. But if you look at it very well and, weigh the advantages and disadvantages, you see that you have more advantages when you show your craft. I remember this was also an issue when I was at Galaxy TV. That was years ago. As a presenter, I used to do this show called Unmasked, where I go behind the scenes of music videos to shoot how they capture their stuff. There was this director then, Aki Alabi. He always watches my show. Then he told me that there was a time that he had sleepless nights because of, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, he had sleepless nights because of one Clarence video that he saw. And he kept asking himself, how did Clarence achieve this thing? Like, he could not sleep for days until he watched my show, because I covered the behind the scenes. And then he saw it, like, so this is how he did it. So yes, it's a valid fear that, okay, other people will be watching me and then they'll see my stuff. But at the end of the day, it still makes you get more respect. It still makes you, get more relatable to your audience. And then, like you said, when they see the work, they'll be like, oh, okay, this guy is different. And don't be afraid. Once you have your own personal touch, nobody can do it like you. Nobody can do it like you. So you have to be confident. You have to build yourself to the level that, you know what, nobody, like, I have my own effect, like he has the Felix Crown effect. Yeah.
So to add to that also, I would like to point out that it is important to know how clients thinks. Clients don't reach out to you because of the value that you charge, but because of the perceived value of your work. When I shot Nana last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. For AMVC, I think it was last year. 2 years ago? Last year, yeah. I actually came forward to talk about the thought process that went into it. The video also went viral alongside the pictures as well. And it created a perception of, oh, this is how this guy thinks. And then there was even a video I made where I talked about how I failed at creating a concept, and I later did a concept again and I did it well. And people, the most of the comment I was seeing was like, see a photographer pouring his art out to what it does, and even explaining that it still makes mistake.
Yeah.
So when people see the human aspect of you, that is what grabs people. So your perceived value increases at the end of the day. And to buttress what you said about nobody can get your touch or your effect, it is important to know that when you push out your creative process, it awakens the ability for other creatives to think critically about themselves as well. So if this person is thinking this way, that means I'm sleeping on my own thought process and how to be able to be creative. So for anybody that copies, that's not the real artist.
Yeah.
That's just a copycat.
But
if you watch my creative process and it awakens a part of you and be like, okay, now I need to think about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then before you know it, you even embrace your own style better just because you saw me expressing my own style.
So
And one more thing before you add, that this is for those who are listening and be like, oh, so I can document my failures. Yes, you can. You can document your failures, but please have wins as well. This is for branding purposes.
Yes.
Because you don't want to position yourself or make people perceive that, oh, you are not good at something. So don't go and just say, oh, let me just keep documenting my failures. Your wins. He is Felix Crown, so he can document his failures. I just had to throw it out there.
That's actually very important.
It's very important.
Okay, so I read something. It's called the Pratfall effect. The Pratfall effect is your ability to deliberately make mistake or show that you're making mistakes so as to appear human. So I've documented a lot of my wins. It's just one video.
That is why it even got the engagement that it got. Yes. Because people are like, oh my god, this guy that's been doing these amazing things also makes mistakes. He also failed, so it makes sense.
I like your analysis.
You want to add?
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, you were talking about my microphone. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, good.
I wanted to ask another question.
Okay,
I mean, it's interesting you say there's no photographers like committee or association or something. You don't think is necessary?
I think it is. But one thing that I feel like is how would I put it now? It's not making us go ahead with a particular. I think there are actually, but not in this my new age of photographers. You understand? And I think one thing that is not allowing us go into in depth is because the pockets are not are different. Pockets are not the same. So if we have an association and we say that for commercials, you need to understand that you have to charge for licensing, and this is the list you can charge according to your level. Someone goes behind and still go and take it without licensing. I have questions about some people that takes up on the job, and I ask myself, do they actually charge the real worth for this? Because what they are doing is they are killing the creative industry even further by feeding their pockets. You understand? And I think it's a general thing in Nigeria where people just go behind closed doors and all that. And one thing I've learned, even if it's going to take some money away from our pocket, is that sometimes you plant trees that you cannot even eat the fruit. You just plant the tree for posterity's sake. And if people can embrace this, just embrace it. I know you're going to go hungry for a while, but not forever. At the end of the day, people will catch up on your worth. And this is me talking from experience. I know nobody in this industry when I entered into this industry. You understand? So it's eventually people will catch up on your worth and embrace you for it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not everybody has what though? Topic for another day. You have a question? Yes.
Not everybody has a was. Wow. That's actually deep, you know.
Yeah, it's deep and it's the truth, and not everybody will have it.
They just want to just
so you have to start the association, whether there's just always going to be that person. There's just always going to be
this
that
has
person.
been on my mind for you.
Okay, hi, Mr. Felix. So I have a question, and it's based on curiosity. Ever since I started working with Mr. Felix, I've learned a lot. I've seen the kind of person he is. He likes learning a lot, and it shows in everything he does. But then, and I know he's a very, very curious person. A very, very, he has said it here
Yeah.
countless times, he's a very curious person. So I want to ask, do you think curiosity can be cultivated? And how can someone maintain curiosity over time? Do you think it has to be natural to somebody, or do you think it can actually be cultivated?
Yes, you're actually born with curiosity. Naturally,
true.
you see a kid come into this place, he's going to mess up this place not because he wants to mess up the place, but because he wants to know what exactly is going on. That's curiosity. But as we grow up and life happens, we get detached from this natural essence. So the best way to cultivate it is to go back to when you were childlike, not childish, but childlike. So you come up with a deliberate assessment of yourself to say wherever you enter or go into, or wherever you or whoever you speak to, you just want to deliberately ask a question outside of things. For example, if I'm seeing Linda outside and I'd be like, I see an infinity necklace on your, what's the story behind it? That's curiosity. Not like that story is probably going to do anything or put money in my pocket, but because I just want to
No.
know. So it is just you cultivating the daily habits of wherever you go to, any day, anytime, ask questions. You understand? And the quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. If you don't ask the necessary questions, you will never get good things out of life. Relating this back to commercial photography, it was when I started digging and asking the right question that I figured out that these people know what to tell me, but they are not telling me deliberately, just so they know that, do you know what you're supposed to know? So if I don't ask if they want to put it on billboard, I will just give them a fee without the billboard license, and I will just do the job and I see it on billboards. But you guys did not tell me. Oh well, you did not ask. So that is how you cultivate back to the real sense of it. Anytime you meet new persons, anytime you enter a new space, just wonder. Wake up your sense of wonder. And you can also do it by, okay, we are drinking tea. I can't see the label right now. I could just easily ask, please, what's the name of this tea?
I won't tell you though.
You understand? So that naturally just breeds your curiosity at the end of the day. I mean, one thing about me that brought me to this stage is that curiosity. I'm so curious about anything. I remember growing up that my mom told me about a story of how she took me to the market and I was asking questions about everything. And she was so frustrated. She shouted at me like, stop asking me questions and all of that. And then another woman beside us said, no, never shut a kid down when he's asking questions. Never. And I'm so, maybe that's actually the turning point for me. I'm so grateful for that, because my mom never turned out any. I have 1001 questions every day. I remember buying toys for me, and then, why is this rolling like this? I want to see what is
Inside.
And then I scatter it, but I will not be able to put it back together. But at least I'm happy I know what is rolling in it. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. So like you just said that never shut down a child when they're asking questions.
Yes.
Do you think that that can breed do you think that can breed mediocrity? Like not letting someone ask questions when they want to ask questions, they just hold themselves back and want to hide in the corner. Do you think that will start making them feel or think small?
The person that is supposed to ask the question.
Yes, ask the question.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's the society we live in. We always tell kids never speak to adults, never question adults, and all of that. You understand? So, and that is why the foundation that you're talking about.
Some people's culture is even like built on that sense. Yeah, some culture, Yoruba. Sorry.
Yes, I'm Yoruba.
You can't ask your elders some questions. You can't. Like I do. Some of my Yoruba friends used to be surprised the way I ask questions.
Audacious.
You know, to my mom. You know, I'm like, even know when you're when somebody is wrong, because the person is older than you, you can't really say that, but with us, like, you be diplomatic, but at least you should be able to,
So diplomacy is important.
very important.
Yeah.
But you should be able to speak your mind. But I see that, so for some people, it has so eaten deep to the extent that they are not even able to talk, like, okay, let me tell this person that what he's doing in the big guy. No, I can't.
For
so
real.
it really does.
So at the end of the day, it's a deliberate action that you have to be very intentional. You want to break out of that mode yourself. You understand? You have to be deliberate about it. I remember my dad, he does something wrong, I will call him out. That's the kind of child I was.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and then when something goes wrong in the family, and they be like, who said it? No, I can. There's only one person that can say something like this. So I was audacious about it. And for you asking the question, be shameless about it. You are the one that needs the knowledge. So be shameless about actually being curious, be audacious about it, and ask the necessary questions. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That question was very, very personal. It was very, very personal. I want to ask something, just one last question, generally, about the industry. As a creative, innovative, and exceptional photographer in the industry, is there something you feel like, if you have the power, you could change in the industry generally?
Perception. I wish I can change the perception of with creatives in the industry. Like the part that we are in terms of creativity or the creative sphere and internationally, it's not measurable. You need to be out there, and that is why people always advise travel, so you can see that you are accepting small. What you're accepting is not like creativity. I used to say that creative people are the ones that are next to God, because God is a creator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So creativity is on a level. I wish I could change the perception of how people see us. We're not just clicking camera. We are bringing visions to life. That is deep. You understand? And that is one of my core value in my brand, the art of becoming. So we are not just taking pictures of you. What we are doing is tell us what vision is in your mind, and we bring it to life. So you can look at this image and think about where you are going or what you want to become. Yeah.
And that's why we're doing all of this.
That's it.
So the
Yes.
only
And
way
that's
to
why I'm so
change,
happy.
change perception is to actually do something and project
Yes.
the right image.
Yeah.
And you're doing that in your own little space. We're talking about it now. Everybody learns and know that, okay, we need to do right by ourselves. I'm very passionate about this thing you just said. Changing the the perception of the
Yes.
creative industry is very, very important. We need to change it. People need to know that this is serious business.
This is serious business. Look at the time when social media went on a frenzy, when China was unveiling the actual production cost of some luxury brands. But some people will not stop buying because the perception is etched in their head. Even though the production cost is $200, they will still go ahead and buy that bag for $20,000.
Yes, they are buying the brand. They're buying that perception is there for life. You can't change it.
You cannot.
I used to tell person that the truth doesn't matter, especially in marketing.
Yes.
What matters is what people perceive,
think.
is what people think. That's it. That's what matters. Yeah. Thank you so much. I've had an amazing time today.
Same here.
So before you go, let's talk a bit about what you're doing in terms of mentorship and how you're helping, build, creatives like you. What are you doing?
Okay, so for mentorship, there are different aspects of mentorship that I do for creatives and for. Actually, I like to regard everybody as creative, because one way or the other, you are creating the life that you are living. You understand? So, you decided to create this. That is why we're here right now. So that's a creative. If you are working a 9 to 5, you're a creative because you're creating your life as you go. So one part of the mentorship deals with becoming the best version of yourself in any way. Understand your roots, understand who you are in essence. What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? A lot of people do not know why they do what they do. They just wake up every day and just do. But you need to understand that why am I thinking like this? Why am I like this? Why am I an introvert and not an extrovert? Why am I ambivert and all of that? Understand these deep things about yourself. That's one aspect of the mentorship that I do. I
Okay.
try to unveil while I am discovering myself as well.
Mm.
I can help you to channel yourself to discover yourself, because I see life as a journey of self-discovery, and that is what you go through till death. You can never even be perfect until death. You understand? So it's a journey of self-discovery as you go and all of that. I'm sure where you were working 6 years ago, you didn't know that you would create a platform like this. So it's a journey of self-discovery. And what you're going to become in 5 years, this is a path to it as well. So I help creatives to understand this, that everything starts from you. Everything starts from your being, your core being. The fact that you have a spirit, you have a soul, and you have a body. You have a subconscious mind and you have a conscious mind. Where does all this myself comes in? You understand? So that's one aspect. Then the other aspect of mentorship is towards the creative industry. Any creative, actually in the creative industry, where we talk about the business aspect of photography or business aspect of creativity, or I go in depth into actually teaching you how to take your worth from 0 to 1,000 and upward from there and all of that. And I also create courses as well, where I put out a lot of courses. I mean, that is still in inception right now, because I just started creating courses and all of that. But the mentorship is ongoing. I have quite a number of mentees right now, and students, and I have a platform, academy.felixcrown.com, where you can see some good materials for yourself. And I remember what I learned when I traveled 4 months out of the country. I wrote everything down about what I learned and how you can apply it to your industry or into your craft and everything. But one thing that people do not understand about becoming is sacrifice. They don't want a part of them to die or a part of their finances to go for them to become something. And that is why my mentorship is not free. I can never make it free, because part of the ingredients on becoming is sacrifice. If I take that aspect out, it won't be enough. It's like trying to cook rice and taking water away. It's gonna get, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So people don't understand that sacrifice is actually important to becoming the best version of yourself. The old version has to die every day to become better and all of that. So yeah, that's the aspect I'm going towards mentorship. Yeah.
Great. Nice work you're doing.
Thank you so much.
So what's the future like for Felix Crown? I know you said you're trying to open up a studio or something in Toronto.
Yeah.
How is it going, and what's your plan for the future?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. The future is unveiling itself as we go. Definitely still grounded in Africa, in Nigeria, and by extension Africa, and also internationally. I really want to enter into the US market. I feel like they have a better perception of creativity.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
Amen. Because a lot of my clients have been reaching out are people that are traveling into the country and want to have a shoot, because nobody can do it like me over there. You understand? So I want to really penetrate into the market to be able to show them the Felix Crown effect. Also for education, I mean, about what she said and what she said about the association, I really want to impact creative people to see that there's more. There is more that they can become. And if we don't take the bull by the horn and say we want to change this perception deliberately, this is how things are going to go for the longest. So if we can come together and talk so much about this and actually deliberate all the time, there's something that I want to create called the Creatives Corner, where we can just have a sit down and just talk. You understand? Sometimes it's just about talking and talking and talking. Right here, the fact that we are talking, you've impacted me. And I believe I've impacted you as well. So something like this ongoing. And when it comes as a repetition, it stays as a repetition at the end of the day. So that's
great. Thank you so much, Felix.
It's been an honor.
Don't worry, I won't call you Felix again. Felix
okay.
Crown. It was amazing having you here today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on all you've been able to achieve and what you're going to achieve in the future. Thank you so
Same.
much for all you do. Keep being you.
Thank you. Thank
Keep
you
being
so
an
much.
example to a lot of other creatives coming up. And thank you so much for coming here today.
It's been an not being here. And I want to say, I know I've said it over the course of our conversation, but this is really wonderful. What you're doing for
Thank
the industry
you.
is wonderful.
Thank you.
I found your page when you started calling out some advertising works. I'm like, yes, call them on, let them know that they need to think, they need to expand in their thinking and all of that.
That was the aim.
I even saw the last one that you posted about MI and Bill Gates.
Oh
and all
yes,
that.
yes.
Topic for another day, but yes. So something like that, so that people can wake up and say there's a way that it can be better and all of that. So thank you for this platform. It's an amazing one, and
Thank you
I'm
for
proud of your
thinking
journey
me.
so far. I don't know
Thank
much
you.
of it, but the little I know, so
Thank
proud
you
of
so
it.
much. Thank
Good
you so
works you're
much.
doing.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Creativity with Felix Crown. I told you.
Thank you.
If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section and we will definitely attend to it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until we see you again. Bye.